execute and install it. Okay, so you'll be getting like in the programs like here how I do, you will just get it like this. Or sometimes if you are already having it and again if you are trying to install it again, so in that case what it will ask is like do you want to import the default settings, or if you have a previous version, do you want to update it? So whenever there is a previous version, so what happens is you need to select the previous version. If it is first time you are doing, so you can choose this. Okay, so or else if you don't have any previous versions, you need to choose this thing. If anything is already there, you need to update the previous version. Okay, so always choose this next option. And then once it is done, you have to like getting a whether the Android Studio is ready, or sometimes if an update is there, you will get immediately update. But usually now with the latest Android version, it's just next, next, next. You don't have to do much things. Okay. So if already your Android Studio is there, it will be like you need to have update and restart it, or else you will be having an option to go to next. Okay. So whether you want to install ఆ ఫోన్ ఏమో సరిపోవట్లే టేస్ట్ సరి మాట్లాడు ఓకే so still is that visible ma? I need to change my internet connections also.
Yes, ma'am. This is good.
Am I audible ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah,
Ma'am.
okay, I just changed my connection, so that's why. Okay, so you need to choose a standard way of like option for installation. Okay, so and then you need to click on finish. Once the finish is done, it will try loading all the components. Okay, so the latest SDKs that are needed to install and all the things that are needed, it will just download and then it will give you a environment like this. Okay, so this is the environment that you get. But sometimes if you are like already have installed and if you have loaded, then you will be looking this kind of environment. Okay, so how do you, once this Android Studio is ready to create first program. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go to file. Okay, and then click on new,
Your screen is
and then
not
click on
changing,
new.
ma'am.
I am. Is it the NetBeans? I mean, is it the Android Studio which is visible, or?
PPT is visible.
Last one standard
What's this
option,
black
that's
screen?
only visible.
Okay, 1 second then. The power is like oning and offing. So the switching between the networks, it's like giving. So now is that visible, ma? The Android Studio?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay, 1 second. Now is that visible, ma? The screen, Android Studio.
No, ma'am. Still we can see.
Oh. Mm. Now? Now is that visible, ma?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Black glance
No,
only.
ma'am.
Okay, I have shared the entire screen. Now?
No, ma'am. Still we
No,
can see.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Now?
Not yet, ma'am.
For me, it shows that it's shared, but
It's
is it
black.
visible?
Only a black screen is
No,
visible.
ma'am.
Black screen. Ayyo, these MS Teams these days, it's causing too much problems.
It's due to network issue, ma'am.
Ma'am, otherwise share that file in chat, ma'am.
Ma'am, leave the meeting and rejoin again.
Yes, ma, 1 second. Okay, last time I'll try. If it is not coming, I'll just join again. Is that okay? Now?
No, ma'am. Same, ma'am. It's
Okay.
showing same.
No, ma'am.
I'll
Same
just
problem.
I'll just leave and then I'll join again.
Okay.
Now is that visible, ma?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now we
ma'am.
can see.
Okay. So whenever you want to, let me see again, it's need to record it. No? Okay. So if you want to create a new file, just you need to click on File, New, and then you need to click on New Project. Okay. So once you click on New Project, so here there will be like default so many templates which are available. Okay. So if you want a design, something like this navigation or something like settings activity. So in build, there are so many things. But the problem is like when you try to activate those things, you need to understand the inline connections which are involved to make that activity work. So if you want to make changes or something, you need to go or debug it and then analyze and then you have to modify. So that's the reason always we usually prefer a empty activity. So empty activity doesn't have anything. So whatever you want, you can add to them and then you can work on it. Okay, so that's the advantage with using the empty activity. So we will be mostly using the empty activity later on, like one or two activities with the existing ones we will also work on later part. So mostly we'll be choosing the empty activity. So once you choose that, so here you need to give the project name. So the application name, whatever you are going to give it here, is the same name that you are going to get as a icon. Under that, you will be getting the name. Let's say for Facebook, you have the icon and then the name, right? So similarly, you will have whatever the name that you are going to give. So that will be like given as an icon on your screen. Okay, so what you need to do is like just type in your name. Let's say as we are doing our first program, so I'll write first program. Okay. And then you need to specify in which location you want to store it. So I'm just putting it in under lab so that I can share it later on if you need programs. So just click on OK. So the path you need to specify. Okay. Or else I'll go to mobile lab. Okay, so I'll put it in this. Okay. So here you have like basically two languages to program your project. One is like Java and other is like Kotlin. So Kotlin came up recently because with lesser code we are doing it, but you need to understand a different language convention for that. So, but Java, as you are aware with OOPS and problem solving using Java, so we'll be mostly looking in with this Java programming. Okay, so once you do this, okay, so click on finish. Okay, so once you do that, you will be getting a project like this open onto your screen. Okay, so once you get the project, okay. Mm. Okay, I think the new one that I have created is not loaded. One second, new project, empty activity, click on next and then give application. And then click finish. Okay, so once you do that, you will get like this. Okay, so all the programs and everything will be like installed. So basically, when you open any new program, you will be seeing two things. One is like main activity and another one is like activity underscore main dot XML file. Okay, so when you were designing the web based programming, so for the presentation part, you had the HTML, right? And to write the logic, you were using the JavaScript or like you were using Servlet or JSP to program the logic part, right? So similarly, here, the Java file, we will be using it to write the business logic and the activity.main file is like used for presentation. Okay. So whenever you open the Android Studio, you will have like one is the project window. So this is the project window where you will be seeing the project details. Okay, so here when you click on this, there will be a lot of options. So you need to choose this Android. Okay, so because we are running this Android application. So whenever we are getting this thing, so you will see two important aspects. One is like application and another is like Gradle. Okay. So when we see an application, under application, we have again three important aspects. One is the manifest file, the other one is Java, and the next one is resource file. Okay. So what does this manifest file do? Manifest file is again an XML file. This manifest file will tell the Android system to launch the beginning page. Okay, so usually in HTML or when you write website designing, so you'll be having this index.html page, right? So similarly, which page should I open? So that is like told by this manifest file. So the manifest file, what does it do is, whenever you click on a particular program, uh, whenever you put a particular whenever you execute your particular program, what happens is your app should start the first activity. So when you click it, you are opening the first page of the application. So you need to get the things done. Okay, so to launch it or to manifest it or to bring it live, so you need to have this manifestation file. So in this manifestation, again, it is like manifest file. This is also an XML file. So XML file is like using your own syntaxes. So Android has provided a flexibility of built-in things which are needed for the XML program for the Android Studio. Okay. So here under this application, okay, so what is the allow backup is like if you are closing the app again, it has to reopen it again, right? So it needs to have a small backup. So Android backup, we tell it, and icon. So for your app, you want to set an image. So let's say for Facebook, it has a F. If it is an Instagram, it has a picture. So something like that, right? So whatever the icon that you want to give, so that we will be specifying it here. Okay. And then the label. So the label will be the name of your application. So whatever the project name that you are going to give, so the label will be assigned with the project name. Okay. So and then rounded icon in the sense, so for some applications, whenever we launch, a rounded circle kind of, and the image will be covered, right? So it becomes like a circular icon. So if you don't want that circular icon, you can remove it. But then basically the default program that what we are launching will have a default rounded icon. Okay. So and then the themes. So themes are like there are different themes. So you have a black color on status bar and white color, or some themes will have like a black screen entirely, and on top you have a white status bar. So there are like different designs which are already available. So those designs will be setting it as a theme. Okay. So when we run the program, it should give us a design or a theme, what we are saying. So and then activity. Activities in Android are nothing but the pages like HTML. So whenever you click this icon, what activity should be started? So here if you say main activity, so by default the first program that you get will be this main activity. So the main activity acts like a index.html file. Okay, so when you specify here, this is the main activity. So automatically it will add these things, and then it will try to open this first program. Okay, so in the beginning, I'm not telling each and everything, but then later on we will work on these things. Okay, so we will be talking on in detail other parts. Okay, so under activity, we are having the main activity, so that when the application is manifested, this activity should be launched onto your screen. Okay, so that is like manifest file. And in Java, so you will be probably looking around like what is the logic that it should do. Okay, so right now, as there is nothing we are doing in the first program, so basically main activity has properties from abstract compact activity, app compact activity. So this app compact activity has like a life cycle of methods. So here on create is there, on start, on resume. So there are different methods. So this is mostly similar, like see, if you are writing an applet program, what you will do? Extends applet. So something like that. So this is the activity in detail concepts that you want to extend the properties and bring it into the main activity. Okay. So don't worry if you don't understand in the beginning also. So as we program, you will be like more familiar with it. Okay. So here we will be like doing the actual logic part. Okay. So the next is the resources. Under resources, again, you have drawable, layout, minmap, and values. So under drawable, you will be having, these are the, in the manifest file, we were using IC launcher. IC launcher as the image. So this will be the image, how it looks. So when you launch the icon, this is the image actually that is going to replicate, and the roundedness will create you a rounded way. So once we launch, you will able to see. So whatever the images that you are going to use for your application, you will be copying them and you will be pasting them in the drawable. Okay. So I'll tell you later on how to add images and everything. So a drawable is mainly concerned with loading the images, whatever needed for your application. Okay. And the next one is layout. So the layout is the one actually which is the design part of your application. So once you click it, so you will be seeing like the design like this. Okay, so here the design part, whatever you want to do, you'll be doing it here. So the design can be done in two ways. One is like by using a drag drop option. So let's say I want to include a button. Just select the button and drag and drop it. Okay, so the button is added here. So you can change the properties of the button. So all the properties like in NetBeans or Eclipse, you'll be getting them here. Okay, so we'll look into them in detail later. So let's say just I'm changing the text on it. Okay, so now this is the design. So we will be designing complex designs later. Okay, so here whenever you open the default layout or the default settings that are present is a constraint layout. So there are like different options like linear layout. There are different options like flow layout, grid layout, table layout. So if you want to arrange your elements, you will be choosing that layout. But one advantage with constraint layout is you can drag, drop and pull images or whatever, and you can fix that particular item at that location. Okay, so you can pull wherever you want and you can fix your item. So that is one advantage with adding the having the constraint layout. So the constraint layout will help you out to fix your items wherever you wanted and you can keep them. But one thing you have to make sure is like whenever you are using constraint layout, you have to specify what should be above my or above the particular item, what should be below, what should be left, what should be right. So like that, you need to have a clear idea. So if you see, if I'm selecting the text, so this text above it is having, so this entire thing we call it as a parent. Okay. So if you see on the properties, the constraint bottom is parent, the constraint towards the left is parent, the constraint right is parent, and the constraint top is parent. So all the time, all the sides, it is having a constraint to the parent. So now if you see for the button is not constrained. At least one or two directions it should be connected. So you need to either specify above it or below it, like that you have to give the constraint. Okay, so if you are like having this kind of thing, so what you need to do is like there is a simple technique here. So if you see the options here, so this is like view option. So how do you want to view it? So you can choose like you can choose live rendering, how the things will happen, or it show all constraint, it will show all the constraints. So all these things you can do it with the previewing option. Okay. So here, if you want to have margins, so default margins of your app, so left side 8 margin or bottom 8 margin. So in all directions, you can set the margin, or even if you click and you can add it here. So you can add margins here. So if it is like, towards left, it is placed at this location. So if you change it, it will automatically align towards the left. Okay, so see, it has taken like 10 dots per inch space and then it has aligned. Okay, so let it keep it the same way. So you can set all the directions. So how much space if you want to include. So by default, whatever is there, it just shows. And if you want to align it, you can modify these numbers. It will automatically align to that particular side. Okay, so you can do that thing. So as now the button is now constrained because it has a connection with this, it has a connection with this. So here this is the option which will help you to make all constraints or infer the constraints. Okay, and here you have another option, clear all constraints. If you remove it, so it will delete all the constraints. So the constraint layout always asks like I need a constraints. So if you need to make the constraints again, just click this infer constraints. Automatically the constraints will be done. Okay, so don't worry about the hard coding of the values. So here instead of click me, what should we do is like you have to create a variable name and in that variable you have to write the click me. So that's okay. Don't worry about that. It's just a warning. Okay, so once you're done with it, okay, so the next step is you need to, as this is the first program, I'm not doing anything. So the next thing is what you need to do is you have to execute this program, right? So if you want, so this is the design part that we will be working. And min maps is if you see, let's say we are using the IC launcher as the icon, right? So the same image is like loaded with different versions. So here HDPI is like high dots per inch. Per inch, we have like high number of dots, medium dots per inch, extremely high dots per inch. So like that, different versions of the same image is there. So why do we need to do that? See, only thing is you need to copy the image 6 times or 5 times so that it automatically sets it. Or you can use any DPI V26. So the image can be compatible with any size of the screens. Okay. So that is what the reason why we copy the same image multiple times. So let's say you are designing an app in a low resolution screen sized one. So if you are expanding the same thing for a bigger screen size, so it has to elaborate or expand to that. So it should be like the responsiveness should be like more efficient. So for that reason, we'll be using this, this way of min mapping. Okay. So we'll discuss in detail, don't worry. So, and then even the roundedness we wanted. So that's how we wanted to do. And here the values will say the colors. So what colors will be used in your application? So these are the different colors that we will use. I'll explain you in detail what are these colors and where are they applied. Okay, and then you have themes. So which color themes will be applied? So all the colors also themes will be available. Okay, so right now don't worry much on to the details. So only thing you have is like app contains manifest, Java and resource, and you have one more thing which is called the Gradle. So Gradle is the one which has all the environment settings, all the property settings, or if you want to connect to some other what to say, other libraries, or you want to install some other packages of somebody else. So all these things will be embedding it into the Gradle. So this is like the actual script. So here, if you are using like any advanced level, if you are using material design for designing your applications, so there are, material design is something like which will give you a real world UI UX kind of designs, inbuilt design templates. What you need to do is you need to import them. And similarly for constraint layout. So whatever you want to implement, what you need to do is you need to include in the dependencies. Okay, so we'll talk about that in detail later on. So now the important things is the activity.main XML file and main main activity.java file. So if you click on code, see, you are doing this design like this, right? The same thing, what you can do is like, you can do it in a coding part. So for the label, we call it as a text view in Android. So hello world was the text view, okay? And we had a button, so the button gets automatically created, okay? So I'll help you out in detail what will be the tags and how we will write them. So in upcoming classes. So I just right now understand that either you can code it or either you can design by dragging and dropping. So these are the two ways in which you can work with the program. Okay. So once you are done with that, okay, so what you need to do is like, you need to execute your program. So in order to execute your program, here, if you see, there is an option like adding your virtual device. Okay, so this is the virtual device. So if you want to use emulator, I'm saying if you want to use an emulator, so you need to click on this create emulator. So for which one you want to emulate? So do you want a TV or phone or a wearable or a tablet or an in a car or automotive? So which you want to execute? So we want phone. So the phone, there will be different inbuilt phones that are available. So you can select any one of them and click on next. Okay. So once you have the phone, the next step is you need to install one operating system, Android version. Okay. So you can install R or Q, whatever. See, you always need to choose like, the lesser operating system or like the latest version. So if you are working on a latest version, sometimes what happens is very less number of users will be there for the latest options. Okay. So you need to always target more number of people. So I'll tell you how to target more number of people. So I have a queue installed here, or else you need to click on download and you need to download the option. Okay. And then click on next. So which mode you want to do, and then if you click finish, it will start downloading. Okay, and will give you an device ready for your execution. Okay, so the device basically, whatever the device that you are looking in, so probably when we execute the program, so this is how a mobile app opens up. Okay, so it just looks like that. I'm not starting it because if I start that, it will take a lot of time. So this is one way how you can execute this. I mean, so once you play that thing, so once you play here, so click on play or start this. So this will automatically start and it will load your application. So this is one thing which you can do. The another easiest way is like using your mobile phone. What you need to do is you can connect your mobile phones onto this with a USB cable. Okay. So once you connect that, okay, so what you need to do is like go to the settings. Okay, so under the settings, you need to go to about phone, click on about phone. So here you will be having a software information. So in the software information, you have the build number. And for some application, I mean, for some mobiles, might be you may not have the about software information. If you click about phone, directly you will be seeing the build number. Okay. So once you have this build number, on this build number, you have to click 7 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that. So no need, you are already a developer. So if you are clicking 7 times, then it will open up in a developer mode. Okay. So the developer mode will help you to launch your applications onto your screen. Okay. So that is how you will do it. So once you launch this thing, so you just search for USB debugger. Okay, so you will get USB debugging. So in the USB debugging, you have to make sure that this is on. Okay. So once you make it on, so you can off it and on it. So once you make it on, automatically your device gets reflected here. Okay. So these are the Android virtual devices that I have downloaded. So I can execute on them. So if I execute on them, I'll see a screen like this in which my program will be running. Okay. So or else what I can do is I can use this my system itself where I enable the debugging option. So once the debugging option is on, my device comes here. Okay, so once I get the device here, what we need to do is just click on the play button. Okay, so if I click on the play button, okay, so it automatically loads into my mobile phone and you can execute in the mobile phone itself. So executing in your mobile is much simpler, much faster because the emulator, it will take lot of time to execute it and then it will become like difficult for you to, because it takes 2 GB for executing itself, that emulator to launch and execute. So just have your USB cable connect to your mobile phone and then you can execute them. Okay. So once you execute it, the program gets loaded into your mobile itself. Okay, so let me wait for a second. So it is building. Okay, so installing. So the installation means it is going to like launch it onto my screen. So see here, I got my program installed. Okay, so this is like the basic program. So if you see how the icon looks like, as I was telling, so if you see this one, so this is the, this was not a program. So yeah, this one, my first program, it comes as an icon. So as we have given rounded, so the square icon has turned out to be rounded and whatever the name that you are giving, it comes as an application. So once you click on it, it just opens up. Okay. So you can close that one and then once you click on the application again, it just opens back. Okay. So this is how you can execute your programs in your Android Studio as well. Okay. I mean in your own mobile, using your own mobiles as well. Okay. So is that clear, Ma, how to execute your first program with a mobile phone and with a Android device? So what I want you to do is take time. I'll be uploading the documents. So just install the Android Studio and I want you to execute the first program for the next class so that we can work on like building on more applications on top of it. Okay. And then we'll start looking how to give, I mean, how to add different views, what are the different views available, how to design our layout. So all these things we'll be looking in depth as we go on to the course. Okay. So is that clear, Ma? If yes, can you just give a raise
Yes,
your
ma'am.
hand? Okay, so I'll not be asking you for the attendance, but make sure you listen to my class. If you listen class, that itself is enough for you to prepare your exams. Because the logic, how to write or how to build up. So if you understand from the class, any program is given, it would be very, very easy. If you don't listen and later on, if you Google, there are many sources that are available. So you'll be like confused. This is right, that is right. So there are so many stuffs available and the approach of writing is also different. So don't go or don't get into that. So just listen to the class and then you explore more. Okay. So with that, it will help you to like build up or strengthen your skills. Okay. So listen to the class, just the logic. See, mostly I'll be showing practically only. So very less theory will be there. So I'll show the theory part as well as the execution part so that it will be easy for you to work on. Okay. So if you have any doubts or queries, do message me. I'll be working and helping you out. Okay. So, okay then, take care. We'll catch up in the next class. Bye-bye.
Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am.
can you upload the PPT which you showed in the beginning of the class?
Yeah, I'll upload it. So it gives
Yes,
you like
thank you.
step-by-step approach. So yeah, you can do it. Now itself I'll be uploading it. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, can we
Thank
leave?
you. Yes.